President-elect Donald Trump attempted to delay the release of special counsel Jack Smith's report before assuming office next week. If Donald Trump had not won the presidential election in November, the Justice Department would have had enough evidence to indict him of attempting to subvert the 2020 election results, according to special counsel Jack Smith's report, which was released early Tuesday. For 137 pages, Smith detailed the incriminating evidence he claims he gathered against Trump during his 2-year investigation, painting the former and now incoming president as a man who used his power to deceive state lawmakers, Republican Party activists, and presidential electors in order to claim victory in an election he knew he had lost. The Justice Department published the report on its website shortly before 1 a.m., less than an hour after a court order prohibiting its release expired. The report is the final public record of a historic Justice Department prosecution that never went to trial, with the federal government dropping the case in November after the criminal defendant became president-elect. Justice Department procedures prohibit prosecuting a sitting president, but Smith underscored in his report that abandoning the case does not diminish the gravity of the offenses charged against Trump, the department's position that the Constitution prohibits the continued indictment and prosecution of a president is unequivocal and does not depend on the gravity of the crimes charged, the strength of the government's evidence, or the merits of the prosecution, which the office fully supports, the report reads. Indeed, but for Mr. Trump's victory and impending return to the presidency, the office concluded that the admissible evidence was adequate to secure and sustain a conviction at trial. Much of the evidence against Trump presented by Smith on Tuesday had already been detailed, most recently in a lengthy legal brief filed by the special counsel last fall in a bid to preserve the case. However, the report provides new insights into Smith's investigative method, the problems his team faced, and the logic behind their judgments on which charges to pursue and which to drop. The paper was disclosed following a week-long legal struggle in which Trump repeatedly attempted to block the material from reaching the public before being inaugurated for his second term as president next week. It describes the scope of the government's investigation of Trump, including voluntary interviews with more than 250 people and grand jury testimony from over 55 witnesses. Prosecutors also acquired search warrants for a number of electronic devices and online records, including Trump's social media profile. A federal court has temporarily banned the release of a second volume of Smith's report, which describes his own investigation into Trump's alleged mishandling of secret information and obstruction of government efforts to obtain them. Even before the court order, Attorney General Merrick Garland agreed to keep the volume confidential while the lawsuit is being litigated. The election interference investigation examined how Trump allegedly pressed officials in key swing states to ignore the popular vote and flip electoral votes from Joe Biden to Trump, attempted to submit fraudulent slates of electors from such states, threatened Justice Department leaders to open sham investigations and falsely claim election fraud to get states to join the plan, pressured Vice President Mike Pence to use his ceremonial role overseeing Congress's elections. According to the report, some of those who took Trump's threats and encouragement of violence against his perceived opponents seriously joined the mob attack that injured at least 140 police officers and disrupted the certification ceremony at the United States Capitol.